Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fikrat. This video is another one in the series dedicated to learning Microsoft Fabric. And today we're exploring a lookup activity. A lookup activity is very useful activity and it can be used in multiple modes. First of all, it can be used in a single mode where we pass one value or one parameter and receive another value. And that can be used um, to assign the result to some variable or to call store procedure or some other activities with that value. So we'll learn how to use how to build dynamic pipelines using variables in the future sessions. But essentially, lookup activity can feed this kind of downstream activities. Lookup activity can also be used in multi-row mode, where you pass some parameter, so you run some query and return multiple rows. And that data set can be used within to create loops within pipeline, so with multiple rows or assign results to um, variables and then use it for different reasons, different purposes within the pipeline. Uh, Let me go ahead and create a pipeline. I'll call it pipeline lookup. I'm going to head to Activities tab and choose Lookup Activity. So I'll call this Lookup from query. So if I switch to Settings tab, um, I can select connection. So I'm going to use Azure SQL connections that I have created earlier. And we'll choose Azure SQL. And as you can see, now we have three potential options. We have three options. So table, query, and store procedure. I can take a look at the list of tables and select any of these tables. But what I will do is just I will select query and I'll copy paste the queries that I have prepared earlier. So let me show that query. So this is a query that returns rows for a selected salesperson. So it returns 32 rows. I'm gonna copy paste this in my query window. Let me take a look at the data. And if I scroll down, so this is another important setting. So it says first row only, and by default it's selected. So this means that this lookup activity works in a single row mode, or you can also call it scalar mode. So this is default option. So I'll first run this using this single row mode. So my execution has completed. Now let's examine the result by clicking this output button. So as expected, the activity returns single row, and you can see it's JSON format, and this is the root node for this JSON is first row. Now let's explore some other modes. So now I'm going to remove or clear this first row only options, and we'll execute it again. Let's examine the result. So as expected, we have more rows. So we have 32 rows. So I can consume all this JSON from downstream activities and use this data set. Okay, so finally, let's explore using lookup activity in stored procedure mode. So I'll select stored procedure. But before I proceed, let me show you stored procedure that I have created in the last session. So this was a stored procedure that was created for the purpose of entering logs into my log table. I added this row here to return newly inserted rows ID. So let me execute the store procedure. And now I can select the store procedure, log error, and now we have to supply parameters. Just like in previous video, I'm going to use import parameter button to bring parameter list automatically. And now let's put some sample values here. For remaining parameters, I'm going to use system variables by using add link content, just like in the previous video. So I'll use pipeline ID as a parameter. As you can see, Fabric creates expression for me. That's very handy. Similarly, I'm going to use pipeline name variable run ID and the workspace ID. And I'm going to run this pipeline. All right, my pipeline has completed, so let's examine the output. So you can see that it's log ID, so it returned log ID, and we have value for that. So that concludes today's session. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next videos.